What's going on, everyone? It is crazy to think, even just 2 months ago, the Lakers were in a position to where it's like, are we even going to make the play in? We were like the 13th seed all season long. The team was just falling apart. Russell Westbrook was not working with the Lakers. The team as a whole just didn't make any sense. It was a disaster. People were calling for Rob Pelinka to be fired, Jeannie Buss to trade the team or sell the team, for Darvin Ham to be fired, for Russell Westbrook to crawl into a hole, for LeBron James and Anthony Davis to be traded. I mean, it was crazy. We started the season 2-10. It looked like there's no way we're going to be able to come back from that. And we tacked away and we got better as the season went on, but you still saw this team and you were like, you know what, this team has a chance, but it's primarily because you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And if those two can be elite and just, God level, then you always have a puncher's chance. But ultimately, it just felt like this wasn't the year. This wasn't our season. And then to go to to the team that we have now, to unload Russell Westbrook for essential highway robbery. And now we're in a position to where we control our future. We control whether or not we get the 5th seed right now. That is great. To go from the 13th seed and very likely not even making the play-in. Forget the playoffs, just the play-in. Not even making the play-in. To all of a sudden, we are in prime position with this team, with this roster, to go and get the 5th seed and end up playing, the Phoenix Suns in the first round. That is just, in and of itself, is so exciting and just such a breath of fresh air for this Lakers roster. I mean, it feels different. This team looks different. This team feels different. This team just fits better, right? Guys are playing for each other more than they ever have. This is very reminiscent of the 2020 team. This team, in my opinion, has much better overall talent. Like front to back, this team is much more talented. The 2020 team was very special, though, right? Like, guys really loved each other. They had the chemistry. They just had all of the, X's and O's checked off, right? Where the Lakers are still on the fly. You still see moments where the lack of chemistry is there and, there's just a little confusion at times. But as a whole, I mean, this team is clearly much better. I mean, this team still hasn't lost a game, knock on wood, still hasn't lost a game fully healthy. They haven't lost a game. And obviously that's not going to continue forever. Even if we win the championship this year, we're not going to go 82-0 next year. But this is a team that really does feel like they can win a championship. And even if things fall flat this year, the promise and the optimism and the excitement for next season is already there, right? You have a team that is this good already. What are they going to look like with a full off season, a full training camp, a full preseason, and a full regular season to go into the playoffs? Not just that, but Lakers still have assets. They would have 2 tradable first-round picks. They'd have like Davon Reed, Malik Beasley. You'd also have Mo Bamba. They basically have $35 million, which that's not even counting the 125% rule. They have easily like $35 million that they could use to trade to go get other pieces. Not saying that they need to or that they should to, but it's nice to have that option, to have that flexibility. If you need to make a tweak or two, or, if you could upgrade to Buddy Hield and Miles Turner over Beasley and Mo Bamba, like, why not, right? Imagine this team, but like with that kind of upgrade, pretty good position to be in. But regardless, even if they just run it back with everybody next year, it's incredible. And this offseason is going to be very interesting and very entertaining because there's going to be a ton of just trade rumors and speculation. What's going to happen with Kyrie Irving? Are they going to re-sign everybody? How's it going to go? Like all of that stuff. It is going to be a whirlwind. But we got to get to where we need to get first, right? Obviously, the Lakers got to win outright, right? Now, if the Warriors and the Pelicans lose the game, then that gives us some cushion because now you could lose a game because we just have to keep pace with the Pelicans and the Warriors, right? Because we have the tiebreaker for both of them. So if they finish the season with 40 losses, we can finish the season with 40 losses. That's all that matters, right? You obviously don't want some other team creeping up and overtaking us, like the Timberwolves, but we've got some separation between them, separation against a couple of these teams, right? Lakers play the Jazz twice, and then all you got to do is just kind of split that Suns and Clippers series if they lose a game, and you're good. You're good to go, right? So the Lakers control their destiny. The Lakers control their path. They can make that decision, and if somebody loses, then, maybe you sit out the Suns game and go win the Jazz game, or vice versa. Maybe it's if you already have the 6th seed locked up, why even play the Jazz game? Let everyone rest and, go in, get that extra rest to go and face the Suns in the first round. And a lot of people are really concerned about playing the Suns. And for one, we're playing with house money. We weren't even supposed to be in the conversation. And now we're going from not even being invited to the party to basically crashing the party and playing the best team. Let's it's the old saying, like they have in movies and stuff. Like, if you ever saw the movie The New Guy, where he's like, what do I do? And he's like, walk into the room and punch the biggest guy in the mouth, right? You got to take out the biggest guy. There you go. That's the Lakers. They're walking in, they're finding the biggest guy, and they're laying him on his ass, right? That's what we need. That's what I want to see. Because if we beat the Phoenix Suns, what is anyone going to say? And we beat them in the first round. Not just that, but the Phoenix Suns are probably most beatable in the first round. If you're ever going to beat Phoenix, it's in the first round, assuming nobody gets hurt, right? But why would you want that? You want to play them fully healthy, right? So no one can say anything. So many people are worried about Kevin Durant, and it's like, why? Like, what has Kevin Durant done without the Warriors? He won one playoff series with a deeper and arguably better team in the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And for a playoff series, they had James Harden. And they still couldn't win. Right? I mean, just because Kevin Durant's on the Phoenix Suns doesn't mean that they're going to beat anybody. Like, we saw Kevin Durant stumble on numerous occasions. Devin Booker has gone completely MIA in big moments and big games. Chris Paul, same thing. Chris Paul's built an entire career on it. Everyone just sees Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and just thinks like, oh, that's it. It's over. Hand him the trophy. Like, no. They have no depth, no defense. They have nobody that can stop LeBron James. They have nobody that can stop Anthony Davis. And on top of that, we have several guys we could throw at Kevin Durant. You're never going to stop KD. But can you make it difficult? Can you slow him down? Can you make things challenging for him? Same thing with Devin Booker. I mean, you got Troy Brown, Austin Reeves, Dennis Schroeder, right? You could go Jared Vanderbilt if you have to. If he just is the one that has it that night, right? Kevin Durant, got Anthony Davis, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James. I mean, the list goes on and on for guys that you can put on all these guys, right? Bring on the smoke. Let's get it. I would rather get into the 5 seed than risk it in the 7 seed. It makes no sense to do that at all. Why risk injury, lack of rest, potentially not even getting into the playoffs, right? A team gets hot and now you lose and you're going home and it's like, well, you could have gotten the 5th seed, but you were afraid to play the Suns. Like, it's silly. It makes no sense. Go beat the Suns. I want the Suns, I want the Warriors, and I want the Denver Nuggets. That's the path that I want. Because nobody can say anything to us. Nobody. What are they going to say? We beat the team that everyone believed was going to win the championship this year in the Phoenix Suns. We beat the best team in the West in the Denver Nuggets, and we beat the defending NBA champions. What can anybody say to that? Nothing. That's the answer. Nothing. Right? Bring me all the smoke. And regardless, whether we win an NBA championship this year or not, I just look at the roster we have. Look at the position we're in now. Look at how bright the future is. All these guys are young. right? Rob Pelinka, home run, grand slam. I mean, you got Mo Bamba, who's 25. You got, Beasley and D'Lo, who are both just 26. You got Jared Vanderbilt, who's 23. You have Max Christie, you have Austin Reeves, you have Rui Hachimura. You have just so much talent, so much depth, so much youth. We've seen that this team can win without LeBron James and is only going to get better. So this is a team that not only helps us now with LeBron, but is a team that helps us even in the future post LeBron. And who knows, maybe Jared Vanderbilt develops an offensive game and becomes a superstar. Maybe, D'Angelo Russell takes that next step. Maybe Austin Reeves, maybe Max Christie turns into, so many people say he looks like a young Kobe. Maybe he turns into the second coming of Kobe, right? I don't think anybody will ever be Kobe, but you know what I mean, right? Like just becoming that, shooting guard superstar. You never know. Or at the end of the day, we're still the Los Angeles Lakers. People still want to come to the Lakers, especially if we have the depth and the talent and the youth and everything. You don't think there's some star going, God, I'd love to be on the Lakers right now? Of course there is. There's going to be some disgruntled star. I mean, there's going to be all kinds of rumors in the offseason, and I can't wait for it. We'll talk about all of them, because it's what we do, right? Have these conversations. But I mean, you look at this roster, you look at this team, you look at what Rob Pelinka was able to get for pennies on the dollar. You look at how our roster was shaped up. Like right here, you see 6 guys on the screen right now, right? I mean, not counting Rob Pelinka, obviously. I'm talking about the players. And all 6 of those guys were guards, 2 months ago. And now you got center, you got forwards, and they're not all 6'1" guards, right? Like Beasley's not 6'1". He's like, what, 6'4", 6'5"? Even D'Lo, same thing, right? Even Davon Reed, he's got good size, and he can shoot. He could be a savvy guy. It's just it's absolutely incredible what we got with this roster, the talent that we have, the direction that we're heading. It just brings so much excitement. Like this is a real team. And at the end of the day, we got to give the front office credit. Got to give Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss credit. You got to give Darvin Ham some credit. I know people love to bag on Darvin Ham and say this, that, and the other. Dude, think of all the circumstances that guy's had to deal with. He's had inconsistencies in the roster all season with his stars. Anthony Davis and LeBron James have been in and out all season. He had a roster that was absolutely terrible, that made no sense. He had no consistency in that roster. Then he has an entirely new roster turnaround with basically an entirely new team, and has like 20 games to try to figure it out and get them into the playoffs. And he did it, or he's doing it, right? I mean, we're going to make the play-in at this point. So we'll at least be in the play-in, which we very likely wouldn't have been. And, we're in prime position to go win an NBA to go get into the playoffs and potentially win an NBA championship. And then you add in, we're a top defense, top offense, got the stars, got everything. I mean, credit is deserved top to bottom. But the Lakers have to keep these guys intact, right? Last thing we need is Jeannie Buss trying to be cheap in the offseason. She's already said she'll spend the money if this team is good enough, right? If she believes that this team can be a contender. Rob Pelinka, he's already shown the ability to pull off some great moves, some great trades, and be patient, which is great. And I expect him to continue to do the same and do his job and build this team. But we gotta make sure, if you want to tweak something here and there and go get, like I said, you want to go take Beasley and Mo Bamba and go get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner or something like that. Again, just using it as an example. Cool. I have no problems with that, right? But if you're trying to blow the whole team up for Kyrie or something, no, it's silly, right? Pay your guys. Keep these guys intact. Let's go. Even if we lose to the Suns in the first round, to go from a team that wasn't even going to be in the play-in to a team that, made the playoffs and lost to maybe the best team in the league, cool. Like, that's a win. I had somebody ask me, if we make the playoffs, do I consider this season a win given the circumstances and how it all shaped up earlier, starting the season 2-10. I already think the season's a win. And we haven't even made the playoffs yet because we didn't even have a chance. We weren't even in a position. We were atrocious. We were the laughingstock. And we went from the laughingstock to the most feared team in the league. That's a success. I mean, teams literally look, maybe they're not, but it's really suspicious. Teams literally look like they are trying to purposely tank to avoid us or keep us out of the playoffs. Like, literally. That, in and of itself, to me, makes it a success. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments.